Yo, what's going on, guys? In this video, I'm going to be going over the 8-game night slate. We're going to cover DraftKings and Yahoo for today, Wednesday, July 24th. This is my second video for today. I did cover the early slate. There is a big early slate. I think it's 7 games, if I can remember, 7 or 8 games. I covered that for DraftKings, so if you want to check that video out, I would really appreciate it. It is already up on my channel, so after you get done watching this video, if you're planning to play the early slate, or if you've already watched the video, definitely think you should check it out. Pretty much went over the slate, talked about pitching, hitting, where I'm going to be going. We're going to do the same thing for this video, look at DraftKings and Yahoo, talk about pitching for this night slate. We'll start off there, then we'll look at some batters I like, we'll talk about some stacks that I like, and then towards the end of the video, for those of you interested in BVP, I'll cover a couple of BVP plays for today. Just before we do get started though, guys, I would appreciate it if you would drop a like on the video. And if you are new to the channel, make sure you click that subscribe button down below, so that way you will not miss out on any of my new videos. So at the top on DraftKings, looking at pitching, we have 3 guys over 10K on this night slate. We got Corbin at 10.9, Bieber at 10,500, and then Noah Syndergaard at 10K. So just ranking these 3 guys, I think ranking them, I'm going to go Bieber number 1, Corbin number 2, and then Syndergaard number 3. I really like Bieber's matchup here against the Blue Jays. I did have some interest in Trevor Bauer on Tuesday's slate, not as much interest as I had in Chris Sale. I did play a pretty good amount of Bauer on Yahoo. I'm going to be playing a lot of Bieber today on both sites, especially on Yahoo. Their pricing today for pitching is pretty soft. Bieber and Corbin are both $47. I think you can easily play those 2 guys together and still fit in some good bats. So I'm definitely going to be going to Bieber on Yahoo, and I like him a lot on DraftKings as well. So I think this is a pretty good spot for Bieber facing a Blue Jays team that does strike out versus right-handed pitching. They have a low total today, a 4 implied run total, which really is no surprise. Anytime a team facing a good pitcher like Bieber, they're going to have a low total. But Bieber's just a guy that has a lot of K upside. He's shown plenty of strikeout upside this year. 11 Ks against Baltimore, 12 Ks against Detroit. I think he had like a 15 strikeout game against Baltimore earlier this year. The guy does have a lot of strikeout upside. He's faced the Blue Jays once this year and did pretty well. 6 innings, allowed 2 hits, 2 runs, 9 Ks, got the win, 25 DraftKings points when he faced the Blue Jays earlier this year. I think we could see a similar outing like that from Bieber today. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Bieber's the highest scoring pitcher on this slate. It is very close between him and Corbin, who I would have to guess would be the highest scoring pitcher. Probably Bieber in my opinion, but Corbin's very close. So I do like Corbin as well, just don't prefer him over Bieber. But I did mention Yahoo's pricing. Their pricing's really soft today for pitching. Corbin and Bieber both 47. I'm definitely going to be paying up for both of those guys on Yahoo. When you plug them 2 together, you're still left with $13 remaining per player, which easily can be worked around on Yahoo with how soft their pricing is. So I'm going to be really paying up at pitcher on Yahoo. For DraftKings, I like going to Bieber as my SP1. But I'll for sure have some lineups with Corbin as well. Then Noah Syndergaard, he's kind of like a third for me. This is a good matchup for him against the Padres. The Padres do strike out versus right-handed pitching, but Syndergaard just doesn't have the K upside that guys like Corbin and Shane Bieber have. So for that reason, he's going to be more of a secondary play for me. Just don't think I'm going to get there. I'd rather play Corbin today. I'd rather play Bieber. Don't think I'm going to be on Syndergaard. And then in this mid-range, there's a couple guys that have really good matchups. I'm not a big fan of their prices, but like Julio Teheran, I like his matchup a lot against the Royals, but he's 8K, which just feels like too much to pay today. Zach Gallen, I like his matchup against the White Sox, but he's 7,800. I guess that's a bit more of a reasonable price tag, but still 7,800 for Gallen feels like maybe a bit of an overpay. The guy that I really like for cheap is Reynaldo Lopez, getting a matchup against the Marlins at 7K. I like Lopez a lot here. So Lopez is a guy that I've stacked against plenty of times this year. Sometimes it's worked out, sometimes it's hadn't. He's definitely been an up-and-down pitcher. You just never know what you're going to get from Lopez. But if he's going to have a good start, I would suggest it probably comes here against the Marlins. This is a Marlins team that's just really bad versus right-handed pitching. No power in this lineup, plenty of strikeouts as well. Lopez does have K upside. Although he has gotten blown up at times this year, he's still a guy that can go out there and get strikeouts. In his last 2 starts where he's been really good, he got 7 Ks against Oakland through 6 innings, 8 Ks against Tampa Bay through 7 innings. So I do like Lopez a lot here at 7K. There's no really cheap pitchers I like Brad Keller against the Braves. I'm not going to go there. Berea against the Dodgers. Don't see myself going there. If I was going to play one guy, it would probably be Jordan Lyles against the Cardinals. I think Lyles actually makes some sense with how bad that Cardinals lineup is right now. But still, I think I prefer Lopez for a little bit more at 7K. But that's kind of where I'm looking to for pitching. I'm definitely going to be paying up for one of Corbin or Bieber in most of my lineups on DraftKings. And then I'm going to be mixing them in with Lopez, Lyles, maybe throw a little bit of Gallen, maybe a little bit of Teheran. But Lopez and Lyles probably be the two core guys I look to for SP2s. I do want to talk about some of the cheap guys on Yahoo. Although I don't think you really need to pay down a pitcher with how soft the pricing is at the top. Dinelson Lamet's a guy that I want to talk about on Yahoo. He's only $29. I think he's the best value pitcher. He's the third cheapest pitcher, just behind, or he's tied with Freeland in price. Barria's 27. Lamet at 29 against the Mets just really doesn't make a lot of sense to me. He should be like $38, $40. He should be like the same price as Teheran. So if you're going down for a cheap pitcher on Yahoo, Dinelson Lamet would be the guy that I would look to. Also, Zach Gallen at 32 makes some sense. And then you have like Teheran's at 38, Lopez at 38. I don't think I'm going to be playing much of those guys on Yahoo just because at their prices, I would just try and find a salary to get up to the aces that we have in Bieber and Corbin. I'm sure a lot of my lineups on Yahoo, I'm going to be paying up for both of my pitchers. But I think that's it for pitching. Let's go ahead and look at some bats for today. So there's not any really clear standout teams in my opinion. Right now, the highest total on the slate is the Braves. They have a 5.9 implied run total against Brad Keller. But other than the Braves, there's a lot of totals like 5 and under. I mean, you have 5.3 for the Yankees and the Twins, Odorizzi versus J. Happ. But neither of those guys are like complete gas cans. The Dodgers do have a high total against Jaime Barria, but we've seen Barria have some success this year. He's not just a complete gas can. There's really no like gas cans on this slate. There's no trash pitcher that I feel like is a clear stack against. But if I would have to pick one team that I think scores the most runs on the slate, it would probably be the Braves here against Brad Keller. Keller has shown the ability to have success. He's been able to have some good starts this year, but he's also struggled at times, like against Washington, 5 2/3 innings, allowed 6 hits, a run, only 2 Ks. Against Toronto, 5 innings, 8 hits allowed, 6 runs allowed. He's been good in his last 2 starts, but both of those starts have been very favorable and very easy matchups against the White Sox and the Tigers. Now he has to go into SunTrust Field and face this really good Braves team that doesn't strike out, that has power, that's going to put the ball in play. Really tough spot for Brad Keller. I do like some of these Braves bats, and I like Freddie Freeman a lot as a pay-up option. $5,300 on DraftKings and $21 on Yahoo. I'm going to be starting a lot of my builds with Freddie Freeman today. Obviously, if I'm stacking the Braves, he's going to be a number one priority for me. $5,300 kind of feels like too cheap for Freeman here in this matchup with Keller. Keller will give up home runs, especially to lefties. We obviously know how much power Freddie Freeman has and how good of a hitter he is. And I love the Braves here. I think they have a lot of upside, so definitely going to be going to Freddie Freeman on both sides. I like Dansby Swanson a lot as well if you're stacking the Braves at $4,300. He's been really good this year. He's been a much better hitter than in previous years. 17 home runs. He's shown a lot of power. I know he is sort of in a bit of a slump. If you look at the game log, it's not that pretty. Only 3 of his last 10 games he has double-digit fantasy points. But still, Swanson's a really good hitter. The Braves have a lot of upside here as a team against Keller. Swanson can steal bases as well, which just adds to his upside. He does have a little bit of speed. 7 stolen bases on the year. So if I'm stacking the Braves, obviously love Freddie Freeman and Dansby Swanson. Don't want to overlook him as well, batting second for very cheap, only $4,300. But I'm not going to include Swanson in my core on Yahoo because he's $15, and obviously I think that's a good play at $15, especially if you're stacking the Braves. But I do like Jorge Polanco a lot, all the way down here at $11. He just feels way too cheap for this matchup with J. Happ. So J. Happ has really not been that great this year. He's just been a mediocre pitcher. Now he has to face a really good Twins team, a really good Twins lineup that has a lot of power. I do like the Twins today as a potential stack. Garver, Polanco, Cruz, Sano, Gonzalez, Rosario. The 1 through 6 I think is definitely playable. Even the bottom of the lineup you don't want to overlook. Max Kepler at $5,200 against a lefty. He's probably not somewhere I'm going to go, but Scope has some power and he's pretty cheap. Obviously Gonzalez, I mentioned, he has power, or a little bit of power, and he's very cheap at $3,700. Polanco at $4,600 on DraftKings, you could definitely consider, but I think I'd prefer Swanson since he's cheaper. But on Yahoo, where Polanco's cheaper than Swanson, Polanco I think is the better play. at only $11. Then to go ahead and fill out my 5 for Yahoo, I'm going to include a catcher, which is something I normally don't do, but Gary Sanchez is all the way down here at $10, which is just really stupid in my opinion. Gary Sanchez has been in a bit of a slump lately, but this is still one of the best hitting catchers in the league, and honestly, he's probably one of the better power hitters in the league. 24 home runs on the year. Now he gets to face Jake Odorizzi, a righty that does give up power to righties. This is a really tough spot for Odorizzi. Odorizzi's been good this year, but facing the Yankees, don't think I'm going to be going to Odorizzi. Don't really have a lot of faith in him in this matchup. So guys like LeMahieu, Judge, Encarnacion, Sanchez, obviously pretty good plays. Pretty much anytime the Yankees are on the slate, they're stackable, but just because of how good this lineup is. And I really like Gary Sanchez on Yahoo. He's going to be my top owned catcher by far at only $10. I do like Mitch Garver a lot in this matchup with Happ, but Mitch Garver's all the way up there at 21, which is just really expensive for a catcher. He's the same price as Freddie Freeman, so Gary Sanchez all the way down here at $10. Same price as Cam Gallagher. Gary Sanchez, easy play on Yahoo. But now to fill out my 5 on DraftKings, I think the Nationals looks like they're going to be going up against Kyle Freeland in this night game. I do like the Nationals here if they're going to be facing Freeland. Brian Dozier I like a lot at second base. He's only $3,900 on DraftKings. He does stand out as a pretty good value play here against Freeland. So Freeland has really struggled this year against righties, especially righties that have power. Freeland just hasn't been that good this year at all, just pretty much in all departments. You just look at the game log, it's really bad. He's given up at least 5 runs in all of his last 4 starts. 5 runs through 4 innings in his last start against the Yankees, 5 runs through 4 innings against the Reds, 5 runs through 3 innings against the Diamondbacks, 7 runs through 4 innings against the Orioles. Freeland's just been terrible this year. This is a tough spot for him facing the Nationals lineup that does have some power. Rendon, Turner, Dozier, Robles, guys that I really like today. Really like Dozier most likely batting 5th or 6th for only $3,900 as a value play. I think he makes a lot of sense. Has always hit left-handed pitching well throughout his career. Has a lot of power versus lefties. But anyway, guys, these are my 5 plays for DraftKings and for Yahoo today. Now let's go ahead and look at some stacks real quick, then we'll talk about some BVP before we end the video. So I do like the Nationals versus Kyle Freeland. They are definitely going to be a team that I look to target. Obviously, I really like the Braves against Brad Keller. Definitely a team I'll be looking to stack up. And then in this Yankees Twins game, I think both sides are playable for stacks. Probably would prefer the Twins against Happ just because of the pricing on the Twins, like Polanco, Cruz, Sano, Gonzalez. These guys are pretty cheap. I do like the Twins a lot here. And obviously this Yankees lineup is so good. Pretty much can stack them any slate. Don't want to overlook them on an 8-gamer. I do like the Yankees as well. But top stacks by like number 1, number 2 would definitely be the Braves and the Nationals. But now let's go ahead and talk about some BVP real quick before we end the video. So I'm just going to cover a couple of BVP plays that really stand out to me. Josh Bell gone 6 for 14 with the home run off of Adam Wainwright. Paul Goldschmidt 10 for 21 with the home run off Jordan Lyles. Lucas Duda has only 7 hits through 27 ABs against Teheran, but 2 of those 7 hits were home runs. And then lastly, Nelson Cruz got 10 for 27 off of Happ. So those are just a couple of BVP plays for today, guys. And I think that is it for this video. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. Hopefully it did help you. Like I said at the beginning, there is a video up on my channel for the early slate if you are planning to play that. I did cover the early slate in a video previous to this one, so make sure you check that out. I would appreciate it. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe if you did. If you have not already, make sure you follow me on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT. I would really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching. It means a lot. Hope you enjoyed, and we will see you in the next one. Good luck tonight, guys. Peace.